Hello, it's Sarah. I wanted to come on here and actually have an opportunity to introduce myself to you guys and give you guys the whole story of my whole story of how I've come to be here. So it's good to finally meet you guys and kind of give you guys my story. So um, I think probably from the titles, you guys have gathered that I've lost 100 pounds so far. Um, and how that has come to be is that I've started taking phentermine. That was, I think it was on June 6th of 2024. And I was open to taking GLP-1s at that point, like maybe after like a trial of the phentermine. But the phentermine just worked good for me, so we never switched it. So I just stayed on that. And by Christmas of 2024, so last Christmas, I dropped 100 pounds already just from June. And then at that point, the plan was just, and I lost a little bit more. I kind of hovered around maybe like 100 to 110 pounds loss. But in 2025, I had to get both of my hips replaced, like total hip replacement. So the goal was mainly just to maintain that weight loss for 2025. And I had one of my surgeries in March and then my other one in September. So I'm about 11 weeks out from my last surgery. So now I'm really getting back into working out again. And now I'm really excited to be able to kind of like lose the rest of the weight that I want to lose. So that's why I started the YouTube channel, and I thought that would be really good because I always see these transformations where everyone's just like done losing all their weight. And I'm just kind of like, oh, well, that's not, I mean, it's motivating, but I would like to see somebody that's not completely done that I could kind of relate to, that's kind of still in the thick of it and everything and doesn't have a totally perfect body yet, that I could relate to it. And also, too, sometimes I see people in these weight loss things and they might be like 200 pounds or something, and I'm just like, when I was starting, I was hovering around 300, and at that point, when I'm seeing somebody that's like 200, I'm like, oh, that would have been like my goal, you know. So it's a little bit different when you're around 300, and I'm only 5'4" too, so I had a lot to lose. So it was just a little bit different to see. You don't really see somebody that overweight with that much to lose. So I think that there's a market to, and a lot of people that are in my situation or have been in, or on this road with me, that have things to talk about and that would like support and you know, the different medications. And I only have experience with the phentermine as of right now, but you know, even just talking, you know, if you need help talking to your doctors or talking to, you know, family members or things like that. I feel like our whole community of, we all have different experiences with talking to different people and things that we've gone through. So I feel like we could offer a lot of support to each other for different things. My situation was a little bit different in the sense that how I found myself asking for the phentermine was that I was, a couple of years before that, how I got there was I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So leading up to that June 2024 appointment, I just progressively got worse and worse, all pretty much like lower extremities pain. Even like my walking was getting really bad. And it wasn't one particular joint that was giving me the problems. It all started kind of just like everything started all at once. So it was really hard to pinpoint. So that's how, you know, they did the blood work and they said that, you know, I had inflammation and they said that I had rheumatoid arthritis. So we started the medications and everything. And I was even on the big ones, the immunosuppressants, and I wasn't really seeing any help with those. But I knew that, you know, the weight loss would help. That would help my joints and things like that. And I was just kind of beside myself thinking, I can't go to the gym in this condition. How am I going to, you know, maybe if I drop 50 pounds fast, like maybe that will help me get to the gym. So that's why it's not like you need to justify taking medication to help yourself, but that's what I was thinking, was maybe I can use this medication to help me get to the gym. So, I did that, and I started swimming, and even the swimming, I couldn't kick my legs really, because anything using my legs was, it just felt like everything was really, really stiff. And I was going to a doctor to get shots in my knee, and I went for a second one. I think it was in the beginning of September of that year. And I said something about the pain, and he said, you know, I'd like to get x-rays of your hips with what you're saying. And at that point, just the positions that they were putting me in to get the x-rays, I just knew, like, oh, I think this is it. Like, I knew that something was severely wrong with the way that they were moving me just to get in the positions to get the x-rays. And he came into the room, and he's like, I'm really, like, sorry to tell you this, but he's like, you need both your hips replaced. And keep in mind, I'm 44 right now. This is December of 2025. Next month, I'm turning 45. So I was even 43 at this point. So that's extremely young to be hearing this news. And I was still in denial at that point. I'm like, I think I'll just try to lose weight. Maybe that will help. And he's like, okay. And I went to my mom's doctor who did her hip replacements, her one hip replacement, and he's no nonsense. And he's like, I don't care if you're 140 pounds, you need these hips replaced. They look like garbage. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that kind of, that made me realize it's not a fat issue. This is a joint issue. You need your hips replaced. And he told me that I needed it done in 6 months at that point. So I had it scheduled at that point for March of 2025. The first one, which was my left one, was the worst one. So that's why I did that. And at that point, the plan was, just whatever weight I get to at that point, let's just focus on maintaining the weight loss, and then we'll pick everything back up once the surgeries are all done. And I did that, so I'm really pleased with that. And now I'm picking up everything, and now the plan is to kind of, finish off this transformation. And it's amazing now that I'm back in the gym and I can do everything that I want to. Because with trying to work out the way it was before, because I was going to the gym before the surgery, and it was pretty rough. Luckily, my trainer, I started working with a trainer around Labor Day of 2024, and she, luckily, just the way we got hooked up, I found out I needed a hip replacement, I think like the week before I started working with her, and I sent her a text like, hey, by the way, this is what I found out at the doctor. And I found out that she had a hip replacement at the same place that I was going to be going. She just had a different doctor. So luckily she understood what I was going through, and she knew kind of like how to modify things for me. And we just, she worked with what I could do. So that was really helpful. And we just, you do what you can. So if you are facing any type of limitations with, even if it's just your weight, with what you can't do in the gym, you can do a lot with, even just diet. I wasn't doing anything really in the gym and just to start. So you can lose a lot just with diet in the beginning. So, anything's better than nothing. So, there's always that. So I would just like to build this community just for support. It's really hard. There's a lot of judgment and shame about weight and everything, and I know there's a lot of things about genetics. My situation's a little bit different. Nobody in my family, my core family, is overweight or obese. So for me, it's almost a little bit, I might not have the genetic aspect hurting me, but it's almost weird in the sense that I almost get looked at side-eyed like, how did she end up in this family? So that part's a little bit weird. So it's just, but there's a lot of emotional stuff to it, and I feel like all of us, if you're going through this, you get that. So I would like to build a community of support, and whatever method you're going through, whether it's medication, exercise, diet, surgery. I know people who've done surgery. I'm not here to judge you. whatever you need to do. I think the goal is for all of us to get healthy, and whatever we need to do to get there. I would like to build a area of a safe space of support and encouragement for that. So that's what I would like to build this channel to do. So I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of what my story was and why I'm making this channel. So please comment below and subscribe, and please like the videos because it will help grow the channel. And please introduce yourself below as well. I would love to get to know you guys. Okay, thank you. Bye.